Are you one of those people who's afraid of dogs? We agree that most dogs are friendly companions in our lives. But there are cases in history where dogs cause terror and panic in the world. Vampire dogs, giant dogs, hyena dogs. On this list, you will find everything. So make yourself comfortable. Number 5. Hexams Monster. In the year 1810, something very strange happened in Hexham, Northumberland, England. In a period of 6 months, over 400 sheep died or were seriously injured by an unknown creature. A few times, the shepherds managed to see the monster responsible, but were unable to identify it. The description they gave was that it was a 4-legged creature, like a combination of a dog and cat, with stripes running down its body. Although the description matches a tillicin, a marsupial native to the island of Tasmania, it is still unlikely that such an animal came to England, especially in the 19th century. Later in 1904, something similar happened and many attribute it to the same monster. Cattle began to appear terribly mutated and torn to pieces. However, the most widely circulated theory was that it was a big wolf. However, wild wolves have been extinct in the United Kingdom since the 16th century, so that was almost impossible. Almost a year later, the body of a wolf was found near Hexham. It was not known for long after that, only that the wolf was too young and small to cause so much damage. Some theorize that it was nothing less than the offspring of a much larger beast. Number 4. The Vampire Dog. In the northwest of England, there's a beautiful place known as the Cumberland Valley of Ennerdale. A place so beautiful that it makes anyone who goes there want to stay there forever, until they find out about its dark past. It was the year 1810 when the Ennerdale Valley welcomed, and not with open arms, an evil visitor who terrorized the population for a long time. It all started when a local shepherd spotted a very large dog-like creature in the distance among the mountains. Soon after, dead sheep began to appear. The scenes were very strange. Since the animals were generally open, some organs were missing and what was left of their guts were on the outside. But the strangest thing is that none of the corpses had a drop of blood. They were totally dry. Little by little, the cases began to increase. Suddenly, a dead sheep was found every night. Then there were more, until the alarming number of 8 sheep killed per night was reached. No one had managed to catch the creature alive, which gave rise to superstition or skepticism. Some said it was nothing, that it was some prankster a little close to madness. Others argued that it was a ghostly creature from another dimension. Anyway, in view of the increasing loss of livestock, the inhabitants decided to take action and hunt the monster. But as they did this, even stranger things began to happen. It is said that if the creature was spotted and the hounds were sent after it, the dogs would return badly injured or simply never return. There came a point when the dogs themselves became cowardly and would not leave the pens and farms. Finally, a hunter named Jonathan Patrickson and a group of over 200 hunters and many dogs managed to hunt the monster now named the Ennerdale Vampire. It was said to be so large that it was far larger than a bear. The carcass was supposedly on display at the Hutton Museum in Keswick until 1876 when it closed, eliminating all physical evidence of the vampire dog. Number 3. The Dog of 1972. In third place, we have a case that is not only unique but also terrifying. During the month of January 1972, an Englishman named Nigel Leah was crossing a wooded area in his car near Cannock Chase, Britain. It wasn't too late since there was still daylight, but even so, something suddenly caught his attention. It was a ball of an incredible blue glow in the sky. In a few moments, the ball of light plunged violently to the ground, scattering fire and sparks everywhere. Nigel braked his vehicle in front of such a sight. When the impression passed a little, he moved forward little by little until his car was a few meters from the crash site. As he approached, he had time to think about all the theories about what that thing was. However, he forgot about it as soon as he saw what came out of the crater. He said it was an impenetrable black, incredibly muscular. Its legs were the thickness of a man's leg. And it also had a pair of long, pointed ears. Its eyes were bright yellow, and it looked with such a charged rate that the man was simply paralyzed. Nigel was sure that the crystals in his car would not be an obstacle to such a monster. Finally, the giant dog slowly drove away, without letting down its guard into the surrounding forest. A few weeks later, a friend of Nigel's died atrociously when he got stuck in a machine at work. Nigel always thought the two incidents were connected. Number 2. The Beast of Gevaudan. On June 30th, 1764, a young cowgirl, 14 years old, was attacked by a creature near Gevaudan in France. The creature was described as a giant and very aggressive dog. Fortunately, the creature did not kill the young woman, as the oxen she was herding became angry and chased the monster away. But not everyone would suffer the same fate, because in the course of a little more than a year, the monster would have attacked 210 people, of whom only 49 were saved but with serious injuries. As legend began to be forged around this mysterious killer, it was thought to be anything from a wolf or a dog to a werewolf or a totally unknown creature. As the deaths increased, the authorities had to do something about the Beast of Gevaudan, under the command of Captain Duhamel. But in the end, they could not find the beast, which continued to terrorize the population. To promote their hunt, they offered a reward of £2,000 to anyone who killed the Beast of Gevaudan. As time went by, a man named Jean Chastel would manage to shoot the creature down with his rifle. As far as the body could be examined, it was not a werewolf or a ghost, but a kind of abnormally large and strong dog. However, when Chastel went to collect his reward, the corpse was in such a bad state because of the journey that he only received £48. Number 1. The Dog of Africa. One of the most interesting cases is also the most disturbing. To this day, no acceptable explanation has been found for the events that took place in 2003 in Malawi, Africa. In a mountainous area of the Dowa district, there lived, or still lives, a creature that, although it did not manage to kill all its prey, the results of encountering it were just as terrible. 3 people were reported dead, and 16 were horribly mutilated by this being. The monster, supposedly similar to a hyena or colossal dog, attacked the ears, the nose, the lips, the extremities, or even the sexual organs, tearing everything out with one bite. Those who managed to escape returned home in a terrible state, with irreversible deformities and a ruined life. But for some reason, the wave of attacks suddenly stopped, and nothing more was ever known about the creature. The natives said it was a serial killer, that it had been executed a few years earlier, that it had been reincarnated in the body of a hyena to continue torturing the innocent, or, more superstitious, claimed that it was a type of mutant dog that had escaped from a nearby laboratory. Although there are breeds of dogs in the world that we might consider dangerous to man, these do not compare in any way to what the dogs on this list did. Moreover, there are cases in which certain dogs return from death to torment their owners. If you're interested, check out this video.